Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
My friend, for yet another week, there hasn't been a lot to talk about in the community, but, you know, we've still got some things to talk about. You know, it's not entirely dead yet, but,
yes.
you know, we're making our way through here. The community's in a very stale spot right now for in more ways than one that I think we all know about and are probably sick of at this point. But I guess just jumping right into it, before I go off the rails here, is Tony Flame. Now, for those of you who've been around the Call of Duty Zombie sphere for a while, might recognize that name. Worked at Treyarch, work on several Call of Duty games, things like that. Well, he left Treyarch, and now he has joined the development team over at Deviation Games. Of course, we all know Deviation Games is Jason Blundell's newest studio. So I think this is a very interesting thing that it seems like Jason might be assembling some of his old Treyarch fellow employees to help work on his project, maybe. I don't know.
All I'm saying is Zombies Chronicles 5. Zombies Chronicles 5.
Zombies Chronicles 5.
Transit remastered. Die Rise remastered. Bury remastered. All the previous maps remastered. All integrated with the BO3 system and the BO3 engine. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what's happening.
Okay.
But in all seriousness, no, I think that's pretty cool that there's more people from Treyarch going over with Jason Blundell at Deviation Games. I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign. It's to me, it's also, it kind of shows that the developers from other studios are confident in Jason's studio and what they're doing there. So obviously they've seen what they're working on. They've seen, like, you know, because they have to be kind of convinced first before they take the job, right? So they've seen what they've liked. So that is very promising to me. And yeah, it only makes me more excited for whatever they're bringing out, because they haven't confirmed what it is or anything, have they? They haven't.
They haven't said anything about their game. They've been very, they kept it very close to their chest here. And I'm sure a ton of people in the community, the Zombies community specifically, are very curious to see what Deviation Games has up their sleeve. And I think the main thing to keep in mind here, too, is, you know, while we joke about the zombie stuff, we joke about Zombies Chronicles 5 coming for the new Deviation Games title, I think the main distinction we all have to keep in mind is that this will probably not be zombies.
No,
this will probably not be zombies related at all. And if it is, cool, but it won't be related to the, Call of Duty franchise. It might be like something similar to like a story-driven, campaign-driven, like The Last of Us kind of a thing. Or, you know, what is it? Dead by Daylight or one of those types of games if it's like zombies related. Because for someone like Jason Blundell, who's very lore focused and he's, you know, he knows how to craft that convoluted, intricate story, I think it's definitely going to be a maybe even a single player focused kind of a game, not necessarily like a multiplayer game, you know?
Could potentially. I mean, with it, I don't think it'd be zombies, right? And if it was, I think it'd either be like a story-driven game or like an open world zombie game or something like that. For sure. Right? Obviously, I can't really see them going round based with anything because I don't know.
No, because that's at this point that's like a Call of Duty staple. You know, it's
like I mean, So I don't think they could do that. Perhaps something like Left 4 Dead, but even that you're stepping on territory that's already been like kind of done. But
I mean, with video games nowadays, what kind of territory are you not stepping on that hasn't been done? Sci-fi, zombies, Western, fantasy, like, you know. I mean, something like Left 4 Dead, the whole zombie genre in itself is already, you know, everyone's copying from each other in some way because of literal, you know, you survive from the zombies and you survive and you fight and there's like gruesome blood and crazy enemy types. Like with zombies, you have the manglers and the panzers and whatever. And then in Left 4 Dead, you have those like big fat guys. I don't know what they're called, to be honest. I've never played Left 4 Dead actually, but I've seen
things. Can't remember. Not Boomshire, not Boomshire.
Yeah, the Boomshires. Yeah, it's the Boomshires.
No, I know what you're on about, Fo. I mean, again, I don't think it'll be zombies. I think if they're going to go down any route, it won't be a first-person shooter. I don't think it'll be that. I think they want to, again, with Jason, he's very much like lore focused. So I don't think it'd be a first-person shooter, and if it was, I mean, I would imagine something like Valorant or like Overwatch, like that kind of universe that's set with a lot of detail and stuff.
Okay.
Something like that. And I think,
Hmm.
with Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 even as well, with the zombie mode at least, they're quite heavy on like the specialists and the detail that they had on them. And I'm not saying there's a connection to them whatsoever, right? Because they're specialists, they look cool and all that, and
Hmm.
all that good stuff, right? But I can
Hmm.
potentially see them like doing a sort of, if they were going to do a game, it'd be something like Valorant with specialists and stuff in it,
I could
or
see that.
operators or heroes or whatever you want to call them. But
Right.
I think it'll either be a single player game or a co-op game. Um, and with it, I don't know. I'm guessing aliens. I'm just gonna put
Oh.
it out there. I think it's gonna be an alien game. I
Oh.
think like not like Extinction or anything, right? And
Okay.
as much as I like Extinction, it's not the premise of it. I don't think it's enough to make a standalone game. But I
Okay.
think what they do, it'll be like an alien focused game.
So Jason
That
Blundell with an alien focused game. So what you're telling me here is because Jason Blundell likes mythology, and we're
yeah.
going off of that premise. An alien game. The aliens built the pyramids, and we're going off of that, and that's what the game's about.
Hey, we're going to Egypt.
We're going to Egypt. Hey, we're supposed to be going to Egypt for DLC 3
Oh,
technically, but for the
three.
fourth map of Vanguard Zombies, we're supposed to be going back to Egypt. Maybe it's all a sign.
It's all connected. They're
It's
actually
all
working on the
connected.
Egypt. They're working on the Egypt map for Vanguard. That's what they're working on. Deviation
Oh,
Game is coming
oh
in to save the
shoot.
day.
Oh yeah.
I'm. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because I mean, I know Treyarch are obviously the ones that are like scratched out all over the place to help the
Yeah.
studios make their games and that. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like, hey, Jason, can you help us finish off this map? Too much. It's too much. Um.
Dude, I don't know, but that'd be interesting. I like the idea of something alien, right? I
mm,
mean, I remember a while back I played Dead Space.
oh yeah.
It's been a long time since I played it. I don't remember shit about it, but I remember the kind of creepy atmosphere that it had, and that it was obviously a single player game. So maybe if they
Mm,
were to do something like that, it would be maybe akin to Dead Space or akin to maybe, I don't know, Mass Effect. I'd never really played Mass Effect. Um, but who knows, man? I mean, there's a lot of potential that can come out of Deviation
mhm.
Games. And the fact of the matter is too, they have that deal with PlayStation. They have that deal with Sony that, they're going to be the exclusive kind of partner with them. So I mean, like you were saying earlier, with developers themselves individually having faith in Jason's new studio and the prospects that can bring, and obviously these other bigger companies like Sony, they seem to have a
Yeah.
lot of faith in Jason Blundell in the studio. So I really, really hope that with their first game that they release, whenever it's going to come out, probably 2024, if I had to guess,
Yeah.
to be honest, like I'd like it to come out in 2023, but I think at the very most we'll probably see like an E3 trailer in 2023 or like
Mhm.
Summer Game Fest 2023. We'll see the Deviation Games, independent project, whatever. Um, but I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. And I know a lot of people in the zombies community are excited for it, and that's what makes this a
Yeah.
very special case.
They
You
have
know,
they have a whole community ready to play whatever
right?
they're up, and even if it's not
Yeah,
zombies, again,
yeah,
all the zombie YouTubers will be playing it just
for
because they will
sure.
be, right?
Yep.
They'll all be doing interviews with Jason, I would imagine, if they wish to do so. As far as their marketing goes, I mean, obviously, trailers and that, but to get
Mhm.
the word out, it's gonna be pretty easy for them to actually do. I mean, you've
Yeah.
got JC as your community manager, right?
Right.
That's his job role there. I mean, like, look, he's so heavy in the community as it is already. Even though
Yeah.
he doesn't do much zombie stuff anymore, he's still so connected to the community and with the people that are actually posting zombie stuff. And even people that
Yeah.
aren't posting zombie stuff anymore. Like, I think this game will have, how do I put it? I think for this game it could have a great launch just because of
For sure.
the amount of people that can like spread awareness of it. The one thing
Yeah.
that concerns me and scares me a little, and it's only this, is the fact it's only on PlayStation. Now, Sony exclusive, Xbox, I don't care, right? Some
Mm.
are good, some are bad. Sometimes they benefit, which you see a few examples for. For example, the studio that made Until Dawn, they made a game for all platforms, and it was like short little horror story games,
Okay.
and they weren't as good. And I think that was down to the fact that they didn't have a massive budget. That's the connections I'm making to it. It's because Sony. they'll give you they'll give you a budget, right? Because they want their games to actually be like really good. Not that Microsoft don't want their games to be good, but
Yeah.
that's just something I've kind of noticed, right? My only thing is the fact the access to play requires you to have a PlayStation, and I think that could be the one thing that like potentially doesn't kill the game. That's also a reason why I don't think it's a multiplayer game, right? Because
Right. No, you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, it's the
yeah,
same reason why God of War is a PlayStation game, right?
mhm,
You know, it's an exclusive for that console, and I think there's this kind of inherent I don't know, charm almost to having a game be exclusive nowadays. Like with how everything is like super connected and how everything's cross platform and everything's, multiple platforms and all that. That's kind of like the industry standard. But there's always, I don't know, to me recently I've been kind of thinking about, the reason why certain things are on certain platforms and the reason why certain things exist is because of like some kind of tradition in the gaming
yeah,
world, or not just
yeah,
even the game world, but some kind of tradition that you can either uphold or some kind of tradition that you either have fall to the wayside. So for something like this for gaming, back in the day, it was, this is a Nintendo game. This is a Sega game. This is,
yeah,
the exclusivity there that gives those consoles and gives those companies more of a reason to be like, why do you want a Nintendo? Why do you want a Sega? You
yeah,
could talk to so many people out there being like, you play Call of Duty. Well, it doesn't matter. That person will not care what console they play on. Now, obviously, they'll have some kind of preference, but for the most part, it plays the same on both consoles. And Call of Duty is
mhm,
made universally for everything now.
yeah,
But I think there's also that kind of intrinsic charm to something where it goes, oh yeah, this is a PlayStation exclusive, this is an Xbox exclusive, because there's like an exclusive club of people who can play this and experience this. And
mhm,
I don't know, to me it gives it a little bit more value, especially if it's good. Like if it's a really really good game, then it gives it that much more value. Of course there are like some exclusives out there that I'm sure are really bad. I don't know off the
mhm.
top of my head, to be honest, um but when something's like really, really good like that, it kind of gives it that value, that extra kind of, oh man, I wish I had a PlayStation. Oh man, I wish I had an Xbox,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I
And
mean,
that's
like,
what I think Nintendo is so, is like sneakily smart in this
yeah,
regard. Because you don't see Pokemon and Mario Kart and all these other titles like Animal Crossing. You don't see any of these other titles on Xbox and PlayStation. But you have people like me who I love the Mario franchise. I grew up with the Mario franchise. It's a huge reason why I got into
mhm,
gaming in the first place. I love Mario Kart. I can't play Mario Kart on my PlayStation, and I don't have a Switch. So it's like I
yeah,
would want to go out and get a Switch just so I could play Mario Kart. So I feel like with Deviation Games and having this PlayStation exclusivity thing, it kind of honors the old school tradition of gaming where it's like, oh, you have a PlayStation, well, you can play this cool new title. And
yeah,
especially with a developer as talented and as knowledgeable as Jason Blundell and people like Tony Flame who just joined the team, I think it could give this IP a huge advantage over some of the other newer originals that might be coming out. Of course, everyone's used to their God of Wars, everyone's used to their
yeah,
Halos, those kind of exclusive projects. But we're entering a time where everyone is just really looking for that new thing. Everyone is really, really looking for that thing. Battle Royale game modes are slowly dying off. People are getting sick of it. There's cheaters everywhere in Warzone and Halo and
mhm,
Apex. You got all these fucking, everyone's so burnt out of being competitive and sweating in video games all the time. You got this new wave of gaming that's going to be happening very, very soon where people are going to go back to casual gaming, and a studio like Deviation Games will be at the precipice of this movement, because if they are able to do this correctly, they might have a game that propels them into stardom because of how disgruntled the gaming fans are of the gaming industry right now. So
yeah.
there's
I
so
mean,
much potential here. It's kind of crazy.
yeah, I mean, like you're saying, with gaming at the moment is like people aren't really having the best time because a lot of the online games you get like Warzone and just well, games in general are just full of hackers or cheaters or people
Hmm.
using the Cronus Max, that little attachment thing you get for your controller.
Yeah.
I've seen the ads. I've seen the ads getting recommended to me. No,
Oh
I
yeah.
won't watch your video. Um, what's it?
No, I like my
Yeah,
gaming integrity.
yeah, well, exactly, right. A lot of side running, right? Again, with cheaters and stuff. Cronus Max, right? I don't understand the logic, and it makes me think, right? Okay, I understand the logic. You do it because it makes the game easier, right? And if you do it for content creation, then it's still really fucked up, still stupid, but I understand because you want to get good gameplay, right? You're still a bad person, but I understand why you're doing it. You see
You're
people that
still
just
a
play
bad
casual.
person.
you
I
see
mean,
people. Well, think of look, okay, they're cheating, right? And that's morally wrong. It's
right.
morally wrong. You shouldn't cheat, right? It makes it so everyone doesn't have fun. But you see people that
Right.
are just playing by themselves and not like doing good for the sake of like making content or whatever. I can understand why you want to do good by yourself, but the fact that you go out of the way to get a Cronus Max, plug it into your console or whatever, to
Right.
start playing and then have super aimbot aim, I don't know. I don't get it.
Dude,
Anyway,
especially with how like competitive it is to get into the competitive scene, not just for
yeah.
Call of Duty, but for things like Apex and things like, CS:GO or whatever. You're really making it harder for the genuine people in an already extremely hard field to get into.
Yeah.
And it's just
I
really
wonder
shitty. It's just really, really shitty.
I wonder if if people view Cronus Max as
That's cheating?
like
Oh yeah.
not as that.
Oh.
I mean like the other side that actually buy them. Do they view them as something as little as like having thumbstick, not like the what they called
Oh, like you buy like a Control Freak like thumbstick pad or anything like
no, like
that?
like the little attachments you get in your controller.
Right.
What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well that I completely forgot the name there
Well,
because I'm
here's the
not
thing. They might be able to make that argument, but that's literally not the
no,
same
it's not
because you
because
have something that
it's controlling your recoil.
yeah, you literally are programming the way you're playing the game so that you have zero recoil or that your aim is perfect all the time to the head. With little thumbsticks and the thumbstick pad attachments, it just makes your thumb like grip onto a little bit easier. You have a little bit more control. The paddles in the back of the controller for like scuffs and control freaks, battle beavers, all that. That's just for optimization and that's just for like whatever. But it's literally these people will download things. They'll download specific software to cheat. Dude,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, though, before we started recording the podcast, speaking of cheating, I found out a new way people are covering up their cheats.
How? What they doing?
So you know how, player A has been suspected of cheating. So player A, the tournament organizers or like a team or someone, they request that he shares his screen. And
Right. Yeah.
he puts a camera on his monitor to show that he's not cheating.
Yeah.
What these people are doing now is they are putting an overlay of their monitor, like if they have two monitors, monitor one is the one being shown to prove that they're not cheating, right? But then
Yeah.
monitor two over here is out of frame. So what they'll do is they'll have a display capture of monitor two overlaid over monitor one to make it look like that's actually monitor one.
Oh,
And so
I
they like
see.
crop it and they like, make it a little bit, they don't, they fit the dimensions of the
Yeah.
screen, and then they maybe turn down the opacity a little bit to make it look like it's fuzzy. Maybe they blur it a little bit to make it look a little bit fuzzy because the camera's all the way over here and they're trying to see the screen and so what these people are literally doing is faking their camera proofs now. And this guy I saw was like going through his monitor with his hand to show like, hey, look, it's easy to fake a monitor proof too because of, applications like OBS, and you have those tools readily available to you, which of course is not OBS's fault, but it's literally, because you have those tools available to you, people are starting to do that now, which is so completely fucked because the one time the gaming community, specifically the competitive community, had a glimpse of hope to get
It's
people
gone.
to show that they're not cheating is completely gone now. And it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up, which is why I talked about this on live stream the other day with a couple other streamers. Competitive gaming needs to go back to strictly LAN.
Yeah, it makes sense. Going back to an actual like gaming event, gaming like studio, not gaming studio. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
I mean, hey,
like an
fuck it,
actual,
right?
yeah, like an actual like in-person event. I mean, obviously the big elephant in the room is why we couldn't do that in the first place, right? And online is so much easier and convenient, costs less money, all that good stuff, right? But
at
I
what
mean,
cost? I
well, there you
mean,
go. There
you
you go,
also
right?
have literally last week with the Call of Duty League, there were two separate hour and a half breaks because Vanguard servers were not working at all for Call of Duty, and they were trying to get the game sorted out. And what should have been an hour-long game turned into a 4-hour-long game because the online stuff was just breaking. Now, I can already hear people being like, well, stuff at LAN breaks too. And, it's like, okay, but you're literally there in person with tech support and people who are working on a crew physically there, able to work on things and collaborate together to get the problem solved. You're literally online and you're not in front of everybody's equipment. There's a vast difference between online and LAN. And I think with the LAN events, people can't cheat. People just straight up can't cheat. And I know people are being like, oh, the pandemic, and that's why we moved to online. It's so much easier, and It's like, well, okay, let's just get out of that state of mind at this point, okay?
Yeah.
We have to get back to LAN. We have to get back to LAN, and we have to really try to restore the competitive integrity. Oh, but all the opportunities and all the online people who won't get the opportunities now because things aren't going to be online. Well, you practice online, you scrim with other teams in custom matches, but we're talking about like competitive events, competitive actual, like this will qualify you for a tournament. This will qualify you for XYZ. Now, granted, there's still going to be a good chunk of competitive atmospheres out there that are going to be strictly online. But if we're talking about multi-million-dollar funded leagues like the Call of Duty League, they should be LAN. I just don't understand why they wouldn't want to do that, to bring in fans, to bring in merchandising, to bring in all the extra stuff. And I don't know, watching it online might be a little bit more convenient, but watching it in person in LAN, going to an event is a much different energy. And as we're recording the podcast right now, Major 4 in New York is happening right now in Brooklyn. And the event looks cool. The venue looks great. And I'm sure a lot of Call of Duty fans are going to be having a great fucking time there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand why we just wouldn't want to switch over to the pandemic and all that. It's like, all right, we'll talk about that later. We'll have a conversation about that later. But it's, it just, the bottom line is it has to be LAN. It has to be LAN for big events like this.
Yeah. Well, for the pandemic statement, I mean, with that now, isn't it just been classed as a flu? I mean, in the UK in a few weeks, I'm pretty sure it's just getting classed as a flu from now on. So it's not like it won't have such a heavy premise.
Right.
With all that stuff, and I think in general the world's moving forward past that now. So I think
right, exactly.
I know it's very like family circumstantial, right? So obviously you wouldn't want someone old getting it because it can be dangerous and all that, right? But I think how do I say it? It's like, again, the world's moving forward. We're progressing now. We're past it. And it shouldn't be an excuse anymore to hold off certain things. Right?
I agree.
For example, in game events, because you can do anything now anyway, right? I mean, I'm assuming there's no face mask where you are now, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, no face mask where I am now. You can get into as many groups as you want, any large space. It's weird that we're thinking like this, right? That we have, there's limits to certain how many people are allowed in,
that's
houses
fucked.
and stuff, right? But like that's gone now, right? So in terms of that, I don't think there should be any reason why not.
Right.
Because the law states it's fine, then I guess it's fine, right? So, yeah, I mean, yes, get back in the stadiums, get an atmosphere, make sure people aren't cheating, and if they are cheating, catch them out and make funny clips of it, because when someone's at like a gaming event, right, or something, there's so many good clips of people cheating, like when someone's like playing, he's like looking at the big screen behind to see like whatever's going on. There was one clip I seen that one guy was like. And like then
take
the
a little peek there.
The security are like, you can't do that. You can't.
Hey man, you know what? Screen peeking, we've seen it since the beginning of split screen, right? Yeah. So
and you'd always deny. You don't. Whenever you did it, you'd always deny it. Like I didn't look at your screen. I didn't look at your screen. What are you on about? I didn't look.
Reminds me of like all those times where it's like that you 1v1 a friend, like back in the good old days of Call of Duty, right? You get home from school, you play some like Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1 with your friends at a buddy's house, you're doing split screen and you're all yelling at each other. You got the 4 split screen there and you're all yelling at each other to just those are classic times. But that's the thing. Competitive gaming, that's what needs to happen. And hey, you know what, man? I think with the industry of esports, I think it can only go up from here if they continue to put things as like actual events, though. You know? if they continue to put things as actual physical events, and they maybe have a little bit more funding for certain things, especially from, some of these bigger leagues and some of these bigger organizations that you would think, like the Call of Duty League, multi-million-dollar organization, they should be able to put on pretty decent events. And the teams themselves too, right? Like in New York
Yeah.
right now, the New York Subliners are hosting Major 4. So I
Mhm.
feel like these teams and the funding that these teams have received, they should be able to, get that going. And
Yeah.
especially because, a lot of the times, and I think a lot of people are kind of confused about this too, because it's not like outwardly said that, the Call of Duty teams that are out right now aren't actually like their own separate entity. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that at first glance, right? Now, when you look into it and you see like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But I feel like a lot of people are being like, well, where's E United? Where's, Luminosity? Where's Cloud9? Where'd all these teams go from CW?
Mhm.
Well, Luminosity, they own Seattle Surge. So there's one. Version 1, they own Rocker. Misfits Gaming, they own Florida Mutineers. So you have all these esports organizations that are still there. They're still in Call of Duty. 100 Thieves,
Yeah.
obviously LA Thieves. FaZe, Atlanta FaZe, Optic Gaming. Like, I know some of them are more outright than others, right? Because they
Yeah.
still keep the same moniker. But, other ones like Rocker and Surge, they might not be as apparent. So the teams are still there. I think where a lot of people are they got a little bit of whiplash from this. It's like, whoa, where did the teams go on a surface level? What happened to that? And because they want to switch over to franchising, this is the NFL of Call of Duty. They
Yeah.
want it to be like a city and a name and what it represents, and the franchises, and New York versus Seattle, and like
Yeah.
that kind of NFL thing where you would have the same thing, like, yeah, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, like they want that kind of feel for Call of Duty, and I think it could work out in the long run. I think it's definitely had a rocky start depending on who you ask, and Vanguard has definitely made things kind of rocky,
Yeah.
but I think it can grow into something a lot bigger than what it is already. Potentially, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where the fans' interest is, and if Call of Duty doesn't implode first after
Oh, there you
Modern
go.
Warfare 2 comes out, because that's a huge factor of it too. People actually have to be invested in the Call of Duty game that comes out for people to actually care about the
Yeah.
esport too. So
Let me ask you something on that note. Are you gonna buy Modern Warfare? Are you gonna pre-order it, Modern Warfare 2, or are you gonna wait and see what the game is like first?
I don't know. I'm on the
Because
fence.
like because
And
like
that's my
with it,
genuine answer. I'm
I
on the
think
fence. I don't know.
the first time I didn't buy a COD game, um, uh, before pre-ordering it, right? Like
Hmm.
Infinite Warfare pre-ordered for zombies and all that stuff. I pre-ordered pretty much every COD game or got it on day one, right? The
Hmm.
first game I didn't get for ages was Modern Warfare 2019.
Oh
I just
wow.
said no, I'm not buying it. I'm because after Black Ops 4 and stuff, it was when I didn't do YouTube or anything as strong. This was like kind of like when would it have been?
Well,
Like
because
kind
you
of like
started
before
you started
lockdowns and
after
all that
Modern
ish.
Warfare came out, right?
Yeah, I started because of lockdowns and I was
Hmm.
really bored. I remember I remember my first video I made. It was I think it was a Blood of the Dead review. I think maybe.
Nice.
Um, and yet, but anyway, right? So yeah, I started after, but I said for so long, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Actually, ended up buying it for me as a present, and I was like, thanks. But because like I wasn't gonna buy this, but now that you're giving it to me, I guess I'm playing it.
Thanks, I
Uh,
guess.
right? But no, I mean, her as a like a fan of COD, she hated it
Oh
the
wow.
first time
Yeah.
she played it, right? Because it's so different and it's not like
Right.
that arcadey shooter. It's like Battlefield, right? Don't get me wrong, I like the way the game feels and I have fun on it. But
Modern
to the
Warfare.
yeah, to the casual player, or I say casual, the ideal Call of Duty consumer, the game maybe isn't exactly what they would want, right? And I feel like this might be the case in Modern Warfare 2. I have no doubt it'll be a great game. I think I have a lot of content. The game won't be broken at launch, or super broken at least, I hope. I have lots of guns, lots of maps, lots of kill streaks, a fun variety, and all that.
Right.
From the sounds of things as well, from leaks, and again, leaks, grain of salt, blah, blah, blah. They're going for a more free lane design this time around with the game instead of like the randomly large, stupid big maps. And don't get me wrong, I understand what they're going for that, right? Because they want to make it so it's like maps feel unique and different. And when they're free lanes, obviously, it's a bit difficult, right? Because the free lanes, and then you got some points where you can kind of cut in and out, right? But if they do free lanes, that should be good. Maps are a little bit smaller because that's like the biggest issue for me with the game. And yeah,
What's interesting about that, though, you brought up the leaks, right? I just gotta say how insane it actually is that this is probably the biggest leak drop that we've had for a Call of Duty, like, ever. Because
100%.
Not only are details of Modern Warfare 2 being leaked, literally Treyarch's next game is being leaked too.
Yeah.
Because they're finding things, for those of you who don't know, they're finding things in the files of Call of Duty Mobile. Now, I'm not a hacker. I'm not a game developer. I'm not any of this. How do you let that happen if you're Activision? How do you let those game files go into mobile? Like, what happens there? How does that work?
Well, the only way I could like kind of put it together maybe is they're going to put the maps in the games in the mobile anyway, but since the game's still so early on, you wouldn't think they'd already be preparing that for mobile.
Maybe.
But I mean, yeah, it is a bit weird, right? I mean, don't get me wrong.
Very weird.
I understand why they want to put it into mobile because mobile is a cash cow. I mean, let me have a look.
Mobile gaming in itself is a cash cow too.
God.
I mean,
no, but on mobile as I don't know, because you know how you and I would not normally play it.
Right.
There is a giant community in the game.
I know.
Money constantly.
It's crazy.
How much did COD Mobile make? And we'll say in 2021, right? So COD Mobile had roughly made 100 million.
I mean, that's absurd.
Okay,
so let's compare that then. So Call of Duty Mobile made 100 million in 2021. Could you also look up how much money Black Ops Cold War made in 2021? Because depending on this comparison will depend on how much, it'll depend on where really the focus is there.
Yeah. I mean, Black Ops Cold War, I want to see. Let's see. So,
because keep in mind, when you sell bundles in Black Ops Cold War for $20 a pop as well.
So when the game actually sold at launch, it made around $678 million.
Okay.
That's how much it made at launch.
So that was launch.
So yeah, but COD Mobile again, it's free to play. So I don't know. Can I see in microtransactions?
Yeah, that's the main thing that I'm looking at, because launch is a completely different story there, because that's exactly like you said, microtransactions in Call of Duty Mobile. That's going to be the thing that carries that. And the microtransactions for Black Ops Cold War are also very important because, not going to lie, I've spent COD points on Black Ops Cold War. I have a handful of pretty cool bundles, but I know there are a lot of people out there. And I got to say, man, if we ever get Lego Unlocked on the podcast, one of the questions I'm going to be asking him is, how much money did you spend on the bundles? Because straight up, that guy reviews every single bundle that ever comes out. And you know what? Kudos to him, man. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time going into it. And he makes some good fucking videos about them too. I'm just genuinely curious, how much money he actually puts into it.
I think didn't Jev buy every bundle in Modern Warfare? I'm pretty sure he did, or Cold War even. Jev, face
really?
Jev. I'm pretty sure, or he bought almost everything. I could be wrong.
Wow.
So in general, in 2021, they generated $5 billion, right? But that's in general.
Okay, in general, I was gonna say, hang on a second.
The thing is that's a bit more complicated. Is obviously Modern Warfare, Black Ops, Cold War, and Vanguard. Don't they all share the same shop? Or is it their own individual item? Game? Yeah.
The thing
Warzone is obviously right.
Yeah, Warzone shares the same bundle. Warzone will have a handful of Vanguard bundles, a handful of Cold War bundles, but then of course Cold War and Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2019 have their own stores. So
yeah, okay. So in that case, I don't know where this is coming from. We're just gonna work off this to see if it leads us anywhere. So Cold War generates roughly $1,000 a minute, and this is what they got 10 months ago, right? Roughly $1,000 a minute. Right, so this could be
was this in 2021?
2021, yeah. So roughly the game generates $1,000.
$1,000 a minute?
Yeah, so again, this is coming from this one source and it has like a bunch of likes, so I'm just gonna take it. So let me get a calculator up. We'll try and work it out this way. So
$1,000 a minute. Yeah, that blows COD Mobile out of the fucking water if that's the case. Like, that's insane.
right, so
Whoa.
one
$1,000 a minute. I mean, how are people really buying that many bundles in Black Ops Cold War? I guess they are.
So
I mean, I know Black Ops Cold War's bundles are the better of the bundles comparing the 3 modern games that we have right now, but holy shit.
So $60,000 an hour the game would have been generating.
Yeah.
So times that by 24. 24. Wow. So that is every day the game was generating about 14 million, I think. About 1 million every day, I think.
Every day, $1 million.
Yes, yeah.
Is this only microtransactions, or is this like microtransactions plus retail sales?
Bundles and microtransactions is what.
That's it. $1 million a day off of bundles and microtransactions.
Yes, $1 million a day. Let me just make sure.
Because
so what I do the year and see how much I made in a year. Rough again. This is rough numbers, right?
I mean, go for it. I mean, go do the year. I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I'd love to take a look at what you're looking at, because that is fucking absurd. I mean, we know Call of Duty Mobile is a cash cow. We know that mobile gaming in itself is also a cash cow. I mean, Activision owns Candy Crush too. So like, this really puts into perspective why there are so many bundles. This puts into perspective why there are so many, that's why that's the focal point of Call of Duty nowadays. Instead of like fixing all these bugs and glitches, they put all this time and effort into the bundles, and they promote the hell out of that mainly, it seems like.
So from this suggestion here, right, I imagine it's a bit less.
Okay.
Or possibly a bit more. I'm going to send you the number right there. Now, in the actual thing before, it said that they made $5 billion. So I don't know how this kind of adds up.
$5 billion.
This year. Yeah. So
off of Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's suggesting with this, at least.
Okay. So what you're saying is that Black Ops Cold War generated $518 million off of bundles and microtransactions alone, based on what you've read.
Yeah, right. Again, I could be completely wrong, and to be honest, I rounded it to $1,000 per minute. It says here it was $1,289 per minute, and so I rounded.
So we're being generous.
We're being generous, yeah. So this is less.
Holy shit.
So this is how much they make other skins and cosmetics, and I'm actually quite curious, right? How about we have a look? Do I have a look and see how much Black Ops 3 made with its season pass, just to see what? Because
go for it. I mean, I'm not entirely sure where those figures came from. They might have come from Activision themselves. It might have come from investors. I don't know where that comes from. Again, send me that later, because I want to read it and I want to see where everything comes from. But if what you are saying is true, that is absurd.
Okay, so I can't find.
Which means there would literally be no reason for them not to have extra funding for a lot of these other games. Now, granted, right, you have a lot of other corporate costs, and you have to keep the investors happy with certain things, and there's a lot of corporate red tape and also politics that are involved in it too, because of certain things that I will not mention. But there is with this absurd, I mean, they're wiping their ass with $100 bills at this point. It's like they could totally do more with Call of Duty. And if we believe
the money isn't the issue here.
Well, no, of course the money isn't the issue. But I'm just saying, what they could do more. Yeah, they could do more with this. And if DMZ, this new interesting game mode that's supposed to come out with Modern Warfare 2, if they put some funding into this one, maybe it could overtake Warzone, and it could overtake whatever. Of course, the money itself isn't the issue. It's the people behind the scenes who actually handle the money is the issue.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're just thinking. I mean, unfathomably, just crazy things that could happen with Call of Duty potentially with that kind of funding.
It's Yeah, I mean, man, it's crazy to think that there's so much potential because they could do anything they wanted, right? They have enough money to. They would never like lose money out of it, or even if they did, it wouldn't really matter. Don't get
Right.
me wrong, you wouldn't want to lose money anyway, but I
Right.
mean, if you had a game that undersold, that's not gonna be a massive loss to you, is it? So, but no, yeah, honestly
I,
they could do anything. It's an awkward time for them now, right? Because obviously they're being bought over by Microsoft.
right.
So that's happening. So I don't think it'd be time for them right now to work on stuff like that, unless it was already prearranged. And we know that some things are happening. Supposedly, there's a free-to-play game coming out in 2023. Believe it when I see
Right.
it. Um,
Yeah.
2024 is Treyarch's next proper game. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when that's happening. Um, so yeah, after Microsoft, after the transition's over with Microsoft going over or Activision going over to Microsoft, I can see a lot of these big
Hmm.
things happening. But yeah, as of
I
right
think the
now,
other thing is too. You mentioned the oh, if a game doesn't perform as well as they thought they would, it won't hurt them too much. In the
yeah,
long run, it can, because
mhm,
if more and more people are becoming less interested in the Call of Duty franchise because of how downhill it's going, that'll hurt them in the long run. They won't have their millions of dollars day one. You know, I mean, granted, it'll take a lot of people to undermine that and to make them make really drastic changes, because you're still going to have people you're still going to have millions upon millions of people every single year buying Call of Duty. So
yeah,
it's going to be the fact that millions of people uh need to really stand up and like break out of their Call of Duty cycle mentality of like, I gotta buy the game every year and I gotta whatever, right? And I don't know what number of people and what number of people in the Call of Duty community are like that right now, but it's definitely like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what has to get done to make them. I mean, I guess this Microsoft acquisition's kind of making them do extra moves and making them try to made it. They're kind of trying to scramble to make themselves look a little bit better, because it's like, oh
yeah,
look, guys, no new Call of Duty game in 2023, no premium Call of Duty in 2023. Where we're listening, and then they're going to work on a free to play game and potentially have Treyarch work on that, and Treyarch, of course, works on everything for some reason. So, you know, in them maybe trying to do more, they might end up trying to do less, which
yeah,
is, I don't know. All very interesting times, all very speculative times too. Nothing that
yeah,
I just said right there in the last like minute is like true or anything by any stretch of the imagination when I talk about, the millions of people who will still buy Call of Duty every year. I could be totally wrong about that, because maybe millions of people don't want to buy the new Call of Duty game. Maybe millions and millions of people we'll see in this next Call of Duty game will actually not buy the game, and then things go poorly.
yeah. I mean, here's the
I
thing,
have
right?
no data in front of me right now, but at the same time, maybe I don't need the data, because I understand how disgruntled people are, and I understand how people are so fucking frustrated with the game that I think I'm fair in making these assertions and these assumptions.
I'll tell you something, right? I know Activision's plan if their games start going under in terms of money, and you want to hear it.
What's that?
Remasters. Remasters. Black Ops 2 remastered.
Mm,
100%. You see when 2025 comes up,
right.
their
We've
stuff
talked
ain't
about
doing
that
too hot,
before. Yeah.
right? Their stuff ain't doing too hot. Or even if it's like, I don't know, right? There's a gap between Black Ops Cold War 5 or whatever, and then
Yeah.
the next Modern Warfare game or Sledgehammer game. I don't think here's the thing, right? I say I don't think Sledgehammer is making another game. I bet they will. I bet they 100% will make another game.
Probably.
I think so. And it'll
At,
probably
at this
Vanguard
point, they
too.
shouldn't make another game, but they probably will.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing, right? If they get the time that they deserve to make a game, because it's not like they haven't made good games before. I mean, Advanced Warfare, for what it was a good game, had a good campaign, and multiplayer was different and fun. World War II was meh until it got the fixed, right? And that wasn't really the whole studio's fault. That was like the lead decisions behind it. And with Vanguard, it's just I think it's a combination of them not being inspired to make the game and work on the game, and just being put in such a weird position because they're working on one game, then they're working on the other. They're supposed to be working on a free-to-play game as well, but I think that's now switched to Treyarch working on it. I don't know, man. Treyarch get dragged into everything, but Sledgehammer.
Confusing.
I mean, I would like Sledgehammer to work on a game without being interrupted and give them their vision.
Maybe.
I know it's a lot to ask for, but like
maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. Can they sustain it? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Two games in a row. 2 games in a row they've dropped the ball. Black Ops Cold War and Vanguard. I don't know, man. I don't know if they can.
Make Advanced Warfare 2. Here's your saying for your new game, right? Advanced Warfare 2, right? EMP bomb goes off, bam. Exosuit it's corrupted. Boots on the ground. A feature setting, but with boots on the ground gameplay. You know? And you have all your weapons, have your bundles, have your fun maps and stuff. Make
all the anime skins for all of the weeaboos out there, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? And in-game events, I'm talking about what in-game? Winnie the Pooh in-game events, right?
Winnie the Pooh in-game event.
Yeah, get him as a skin, get him as a bundle. You know, we got the Mickey Mouse in-game event. All these in-game events.
I fully believe a Disney crossover is due. I mean, let's be honest.
Adventure Time crossover, regular show crossover. I mean, I can imagine Benson playing Warzone. You know, I think that'd be pretty funny. Come on,
that'll be the day.
That'll be the day. Listen,
that'll be the day.
The day that happens,
that'll be the day I retire. Now, if I load into Warzone 2 and I see Benson from regular show, Darth Vader, Winnie the Pooh, and Thor all on the same fucking team on Warzone, I'm just retiring. Retiring.
Something I could see in Fortnite, hopefully one day COD. I mean, that'd be pretty funny. Speaking of Winnie the Pooh, the only reason I'm mentioning this, right? I think this will make a pretty good short. Is have you seen? You know how Winnie the Pooh is not public domain?
I was gonna say, are you gonna bring up the movie?
Yeah. So for all the Winnie the Pooh lore lovers out there, our cuddly bear pal is no longer cuddly. He's a serial killer in the upcoming Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. Since the movie's now free domain, it is completely like you can do whatever you want with it, right? Disney don't own it, so you can't really be sued for it. Right. And I just watched the poster was just released. I don't know how long ago. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you?
I've seen an image of how horrific Winnie the Pooh looks now, and it looks like something out of a like. I don't even know, like Resident Evil Winnie the Pooh. Like, why would you distort Winnie the Pooh like this? He's just a cuddly bear who loves honey. Why would you do this to him?
Right, let me just in case you haven't seen the actual poster, because they've released an actual poster. I know poster. There's a poster. Yeah, the thing is, right, is that the poster actually looks like, you know, for like a scary movie.
Oh no!
Actually, doesn't look bad. Now, is it gonna load? Open file.
Oh no, dude, there's a poster. I guess I'll put it up on screen, or I will have already put it up on screen to show everybody on this episode of the podcast.
To view, yeah.
Okay, then.
I mean, to view it, you have to click on it and then view it through your downloads, because for some reason it won't actually download the image itself, right?
Well, hey, you know what? The audience out there, already saw the poster and all that, but I mean, man, I guess that's what happens when people just do whatever the hell they want with public domain. Sure, why not?
Right? It's like,
but it's a little bit weird.
I mean, the thing is right, and again, I know it's quite an off topic. I don't know. Like, would you watch it? Like,
I probably out of curiosity, not. I mean, I don't know.
Like, you know how curiosity, right? Like, you know, if it was, let's say it was on TV, it'll never be on TV, right? But let's say it was on TV, right?
Right. I was gonna say, like, if it's on TV and I'm flipping through the channels, yeah, maybe I'll watch it just to see what the hell's going on. But like,
yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna pay admission to go to a movie theater and watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood Honey, or whatever it was called.
Blood and Honey.
Oh, okay.
And then it's titled on the top, "This Ain't No Bedtime Story."
Dude. Like,
I I mean, I think it's gonna be. I don't know. I think it's gonna be like a Leatherface situation where he's just a serial killer wearing a suit. But at the same time, it's like
I mean,
because
this could be the new Sharknado. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Sharknado.
with how Sharknado, I mean, obviously Sharknado now literally jokes around about itself. And how many damn Sharknado movies have there been? Like 6, 7?
Yeah, like,
Like Sharknado doesn't take itself seriously at all. I feel like this could be a situation like that because how ridiculous is that? Winnie the Pooh is a serial killer? Like that sounds so far-fetched and so outlandish that like nobody would like take who would take that seriously, right? So it's like I feel like this could be another Sharknado situation where it's like it's just a stupid, goofy, or like Scary Movie, for example, right? The movie Scary Movie, where it makes fun of horror movies. It could be something similar to that, where you take something completely not scary, like Winnie the Pooh, and all of his friends at 100 Acre Wood, and Tigger, and Piglet, and all the other funny characters, and turn them all into serial killers.
It's like a Meat Canyon video, isn't it?
Oh God,
You
dude, no, that's nightmare fuel. Like,
I mean,
I can't watch a Meat Canyon video for more than like 30 seconds before I have to click away. Like, that shit's fucking horrifying.
A lot of them start off pretty innocent as well, right? Like, oh, this is a nice video. And then it ends up with Tommy in it. But well, I'm not going to. I don't know if you've seen the Minecraft one.
I saw that one, yeah. It's like, dude. Like, but like from the first like 10 seconds of it, you already feel your skin crawl. And you go, there's something wrong here. Nope, there's something wrong.
Something's not right.
And it's like, hey, kudos to him. He's able to convey that through animation and through, that kind of visual storytelling. Huge props to him. But bro, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy.
Have you seen the Minion one?
I don't think I want to.
Nah, don't honestly.
I don't think I want to, actually.
It's pretty grim. To answer your question before, there are 6 Sharknado movies.
There are 6.
And
okay.
I've never watched them before, right? But I mean,
they're ridiculous.
I mean, the last one, the last Sharknado, made in 2018. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching Sharknado. I think it'd be a pretty fun series to watch. But like, no, they do like a goofy. That's
a series where like you're hanging out with a bunch of friends on like a Friday night. You're all kind of just goofing around, hanging out, and you have no idea what to do, so you just make fun of a movie, and you laugh with the movie, kind of a thing. I don't know I don't know if we could get through all 6 of them in one sitting, but
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
funny,
even
though.
know, man. I mean, bad movies, say what you want about them, they're always a joy to watch.
They're the good bad movies, though. Like, there are literally movies out there that are pretty bad, right? And they take themselves seriously, and that's what makes it bad, too. But, movies like Sharknado, where they literally do not take themselves seriously, and they're a bad movie, right?
Yeah.
It's so bad, it's good. It's funny to laugh at, not with.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of Sharknado.
I mean, it's kind of like Scary Movie in a way.
Exactly.
You like the parody movies, obviously. Yep. And I mean, those are pretty good. I mean, what I like to do personally is I'll go for Netflix, right? Try and find really bad looking horror movies, right? Like scary movies that just look really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one. It was like a school project. Here's the thing with Netflix, right? It seems like if you have like a BlackBerry from like 2008 and you record something, you can get a Netflix deal. They'll put it on Netflix for you.
Oh,
right?
No.
I don't know why. But me and Ashley watched this movie. I can't remember what it was called. I'll find out the name for it.
Okay.
But it was like a school project, right? And it was the worst thing ever. But it was so funny because again, cause low budget films with no direction are great to watch because one minute there's one thing, 1 minute it's the next. There's no like consistency, a bunch of plot holes. We also watched a movie last night.
Reminds me of Birdemic.
Yeah, we also watched a movie last night, and it was what was it called? It was about America's worst female lady, right? I'm sure you can.
America's worst female lady.
Yeah, right. And it's based on a true story about this girl who'd go around and do things for money, and then she would kill the people, right?
Female lady.
right. So I didn't want to say the word there, right?
Okay.
But like You know what I mean? So we watched this movie, right? And
I'm gonna
the
start using that now. That's fucking funny.
female lady, right? So um the movie has the casting. So there's a few people. I can't remember the actors' names in particular, but you know the guy that
Okay.
plays Saul. You know the old guy. Like
Yeah.
you want to play? He's in it.
Okay.
The did you ever watch you know Hey Jesse from Disney? Disney.
Yes.
You know the
Jesse.
blonde. You know the blonde girl, the blonde
Uh.
teenage girl, and I can't
Oh.
remember.
Yes. I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about. I don't remember her name
No,
either.
no, she was in it as well, right? And
Okay.
the movie had this whole thing where the movie was kind of going. She married him for money and stuff, right? And
Okay.
the movie isn't awful. It's actually all right, right? It's till the till the end where it's really bad. But the guy from Saw, so he falls down the stairs, right? And out of
Okay.
nowhere, there's this really bad falling animation. And it's like he fell from like 100 feet cliff, and you see the wind gusting behind you. It's like
Oh
right?
no.
Right? And it's him falling down the stairs, and it's genuinely the most I've laughed at a
No.
movie because it's so like
Because it was
I'll
so
find the
dumb.
I'll find the clip and I'll send it to you.
All right.
I mean, honestly, it is one of the funniest things I've watched. I think that's why bad movies are good,
Yep. Bad movies are good because it's fun to laugh at them, not with them.
and some movies are just good, like Morbius or
Silence.
Minions: Rise of Gru.
Dude. I'm telling you, dude. Like, with the mass like obsession with Morbius, that has literally carried over to this Minions movie now. Now
Where
we shifted over from Morbius and like Morbius is the best movie ever, and it's like this meme, and then now Minions: The Rise of Gru is a gentleman's movie, and you have to go and
Into
you
Minions.
have to wear a suit and tie, and this is such a sophisticated movie, and like it's like mass psychosis.
I
Like,
mean,
what
in
the
the
fuck is
UK,
happening?
in the UK, you can either go see Minions: The Rise of Gru, or there's another section where it's the Gentle Minions.
Are you
So you can
serious?
go to that. Yeah, I saw my mother's life. Yes, you can. Me and Ashley, I was trying to convince Ashley to go watch the new Ford movie with me. She said no, but as we were looking at the movies, right? There's the there's the Minions movie, Minions: Rise of Gru, right? And then there was the Gentle Minions showing, which is the exact same movie, but that is what you can go and watch in your ties and suits and all that. We
Wow.
actually seen two people go to it in suit and tie. We watched them walk in a suit and tie. Obviously, we don't know what movie they're going to go see, but obviously they were seeing Minions, right? But
I
like,
I'm
I,
speechless.
I
What happened
I'm trying to predict what will be the next movie that gets like unnatural inflation of like money from like the
from the
meme
internet, from
community.
meme culture?
Yeah, right. Because I
Uh,
mean, there's a petition still going strong to release Morbius for a third time. So
what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is.
yeah, it's
I'm concerned about a
so
lot of you out there. Are you okay? Like,
the story about the third re-releases. So obviously the first time the movie came out, it kind of bombed, right? But then the
hmm,
meme culture like brought it back and made a lot of profit off it. So Sony re-released it, and it did awful. It completely bombed. No one, no one wanted to see it. And then there's petition to re-release Morbius for the third time, and it's the reason why
bro,
no one went to see it the second time is because we were all busy that weekend. Release it a third time and we'll go see it. We were all busy. We were all collectively busy, and that's why the movie didn't do too well.
bro. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, what the fuck? That's, I guess, all I have to say. What
I mean,
happened?
the current meme culture, right? As much as stupid as it is and how we find it funny and stuff, it has ruined comedy in a way. Like, there's no art to it anymore, right? I could put a picture of like a distorted cow on the screen and like the sound effect, like
Yep.
the one you see memes that
Yep.
catches you out, and everyone would laugh because that's what comedy is now.
Everybody's humor is so broken nowadays. Like, it's
Yeah,
broken in a good way and a bad way. You have that debate, whatever. But it's so I think we can all agree that it's so broken that like you literally have this. You literally have millions of people partaking in this meme ritual about minions. Like, what is happening? Like,
I know it's
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's wild. It's kind of wild to me, but I guess that about does it for the podcast today. We talked
We talk
about
about good stuff here.
a lot of good stuff, actually. We talked about Deviation Games. We talked about competitive video games. We talked about the Gentle Minions.
Minions.
Can't believe that's a thing that just came out of my mouth. And yeah, do you have any other final thoughts before we end off today's live stream?
Just that
Or live stream podcast. What the fuck am I talking about?
We don't live stream anymore.
We don't live stream anymore.
That's the old. We're the new now.
That's a thing of the past.
Let me think. Just that zombies is so dead at the moment. I mean, nothing really positive to say, right? Like, I was talking about you to this earlier. Is that I want to hear people's thoughts in the comments, right? Like, if people are consistently posting zombies content, like, would you actually watch it? Like, are you actually interested in the game? Because
Right.
it feels like there's no one is, and I know there's people
Right.
creators that are doing good still, like Lex, and obviously Chrism's doing really well, and that's great for them. But I think for smaller creators, and I get you can use the Chrism argument, right? Because he came from like nothing, and he's done really well for himself, and he's done it in a year. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the situation for everyone else, and it's like, what's the point of like? Obviously, if you enjoy making the content, fair enough, and that's one thing, and I enjoy the content I make. But it's more like if there's a balance, you want to make content you enjoy, but also you post it on YouTube because you want people to see it. You don't want to spend 5 hours in a video just for it to get like 10 views in the nicest
Right.
way. I don't. I know.
Right.
I know it sounds like oh, you're doing it for the views.
But that's what's happening to a lot of people though, who are smaller in the community. That is exactly what's happening to them. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks. It's a really sucky reality. Then people aren't super interested in it's not just zombies, but interest in Call of Duty is going down. We talked about that a little bit earlier too. Now, of course, it's not quite at the point yet where it's not enough to like completely undermine the franchise, but I mean the interest is definitely going down. But yeah, man, it's kind of wild. The community is in a weird spot right now for a myriad of reasons. And I'm sure you guys can paint a picture of why, who are listening to this podcast, because you partake in the zombies community, whether passively or you're engaging in it. Because you listen to this podcast, you want to see what's going on in the community. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm alluding to. And I don't want to mention it because it's all a bunch of random bullshit. But thank you everybody so much for watching episode 96 of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And I guess with that said, check out all the links down below in the description so you stay up to date with everything that we do. And have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye, everyone.